We get better and better. So we can't beat beat. Let's go!
It's game time. It's game time. Let's bring it on. Watch the star up the show.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
It's game time. I don't know about your squad, but it ain't 1-8 with mine. Put your knuckles up. Get in the game. Better watch where you step back in your lane. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time.
It's time once again to lace them up and swing into action as the 28th annual Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic hits the courts right here at Lifetime Fitness in White Bear Lake. I'm your host today, Polly Meyer. Every year, the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic raises funds for the pediatric cancer research programs at children's hospitals and clinics across Minnesota. Every dollar raised goes directly to the doctors, the researchers, and the scientists as they swing away to beat childhood cancers. Stay where you are, don't go away. We have some exciting matches coming up.
Welcome to the 2013 Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic. I'm Quinn Foley here with my good friend Tucker Combs.
Hi there. Thanks for joining us.
Just have the intros coming on now for the Masters Final. We will have the matchup of Dean Halushko versus Robin Coverdale, with Robin Coverdale, that is, versus John Tronson and Betsy Sianka.
On court 2, we're already underway with the Grandmasters Final, which takes place between Mary Cornell, Ken Seakosh, against Dan Shannon and Susan Rudd.
It's been a fun weekend of tennis.
Lots of great points from a lot of these teams. It should be a fun couple of matches to watch. I like these rounds especially because it's a lot more about the strategy and touch than just hitting it as hard as you can. So
Absolutely. It's all about finesse at this point in the game. I mean, all four players on the court can just with absolute precision hit so many places on the court without missing almost ever. It's quite the thing to see. Just in that last match, the semifinal, the Open, Eric Donnelly and Inka Reimers had some unbelievable gets. Some great hands from Ingrid Neal as well, the youngster on the court of many people her elder.
yes, she was keeping up with them pretty well, especially for a 15-year-old. I'm really excited to see just the dynamic tennis. It'll change from just slow tennis to fast tennis and back and forth so many times.
Absolutely. And even though we are on to the Masters and Grandmasters finals now, you see a couple of shots you still wouldn't see in the Open division in terms of touch.
Absolutely not.
It's a good close there from Shannon.
Looks like they've gone out to an early lead. We'll see if they'll maintain that or if Cornell and Seakosh will come back.
Always fun to see so many kids out at this event. You know, I can remember when I was coming to this event when I was 6, 7, 8 years old and just watching all of my favorite tennis pros playing at their best, and
absolutely
just wishing that I could one day play tennis like that. And I'm still wishing that I could, but that's okay.
But they still let you in anyway. Yeah, I grew up here too. It's been a long time coming.
Just simply wouldn't be summer without the event.
No, it's always my favorite weekend.
Just Just onto the serves here on court 1. We should be underway momentarily. Great point on court 2.
Really great rally, back and forth.
Seakosh and Cornell on the board.
Lots of people have been showing up just as these matches have been starting. Not to say that the Open semifinals weren't popular, but
I was just about to comment. This is every year. This event is like a big family reunion. So many faces and names that don't see each other any other place throughout the entire calendar year, all coming together in the same place once again. It's quite the thing.
and not to mention the players in these matches are longtime tournament players. Some of them have won it before and definite crowd favorites. So it's going to be difficult for the crowd to make a choice of who they're going to be cheering for. I know that feeling.
Always is easy to hear the White Bear Lake home crowd, though.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, tough.
Great hands from Susan Rudd there.
Yes, great defense. That's another marvel I've always found, is so many defensive shots that end up winning points just because they happen to be in the right place when they were necessity.
Exactly, when the point should be, in theory, over 4 or 5 times over, and the players can still find a way to stay in it, and then oftentimes it's the easy put away that gets missed. And it's the defensive shots that were hit prior often go underappreciated.
The stubbornness of some tennis players to refuse to lose.
The mixed doubles dynamic is always fun to see, as well as many risks being taken by the male player and many surprising shots from time to time from female players.
So one of our players here on court one, Robin Coverdale, who will be getting underway just in a moment. She is our own local tennis department head here at Lifetime White Bear, and this will be her 26th Pine Tree, which is impressive. She played tennis at Montana State and won the USPTA National Singles title in '88, the USPTA National Doubles title in 1990, and she has won this tournament in the Open Division in 1997 and the Masters Championship in 2010 with a different partner than she has now, Mark Miller.
We've got some tidbits here on their opponents, John Tronson and Betsy Sianka. John Tronson was a high school Prince All-American at Mounds View High School and went on to play for Middle Tennessee State University from 1990 to 1992. Currently works at Principal Financial Services in Lake Elmo and teaches at Lifetime Fitness in Moore Lake, also known as the Fridley Club. Over the years, John has been a 3-time national champion, and his favorite tournament is still the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic, which he has played in for over 20 years. John and his wife, Laura, have 4 kids and look forward to his kids keeping the tournament thriving for a long time. John says, "I really love playing and participating in Pine Tree all these years and look forward to many more years in which my family will continue to be involved with it." His partner, Betsy Sianka, is a full-time firefighter and paramedic in Peoria, Arizona. On her days off, she also works as a physical therapist. She grew up in Arden Hills, played high school tennis at Mounds View and college tennis at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. This will be Betsy's 16th year playing in Pine Tree. In free time, she enjoys mountain biking, hiking, rock climbing, and going on crazy adventures. For those of you watching at home, if you're unaware, there's been quite the event going on here.
Lots of apple treats, among other things. Some great tennis and fun times.
I was going to wait for the first point over there. I was going to comment on the little side note fundraiser we've had over the past couple of days, raising money to,
Yes.
and I'm just telling you what I've been told, to wax the chest hair of local club pro Clay Solenberger. I spoke with Clay about 15 minutes prior to going live here, and he said that was none too pleasing the events, but he's very happy to have raised the money anyway.
Saw the aftermath. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. Looks like court 2.
What a point on court 2.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
oh.
Fantastic shots. Looks like Shannon and Rudd are extending their lead.
Johnson always one of the first to look to jump out to that early lead. He is the energetic player.
Yeah, he wants to kind of bamboozle and shock and awe people, and so he can use that lead and coast through it.
And once he has it, it's not easy to catch him.
Not at all.
I know from personal experience a number of years back, my first year playing in this tournament was against him in the first round, and found myself down early break, and that was all it took. Good stuck first volley there.
Very, very good
Textbook.
shot. A nice close game for the first one of this match. Just missed it.
Almost.
And that's one of the things you got to look out for is when a big hitter like Johnson or Hlushko gets caught at the baseline, they can switch directions and really surprise people with a big shot.
And then, of course, the minute you think you're ready for it, up there it goes over your head.
Yep. Great return there by Sianka. It's really stretched Hlushko out and allowed her to take that point pretty easily.
Oh, that's an impressive forehand from Johnston there.
Great touch. You know, it just shows the range of a lot of these players. The last few shots from him, he's, you know, hit it really hard, and then a nice touch shot like that.
I have a funny feeling we're going to be using the term touch quite a bit this afternoon.
Oh, yes. Okay.
After the set or after the game?
Lad for service.
After the set or after the game?
Advantage Rudd.
Look at that.
Ah, great shot.
Great stretch, followed by the touch lob from the net.
And that's why you see the crowds filing in for these matches. You get exciting points like that.
You find yourself lucky to find a spot in the stands in about half an hour. Great shot from Rudd on court 2.
Advantage Lesko.
5 games to 1, first set.
If this first game here is any indication, this is going to be a marathon.
I'm all strapped in. It's going to be a fun ride.
Game Coverdale Hushko. First game.
That's a big hold.
Not entirely routine, but Hlushko and Coverdale will take it.
Law 15.
Hi, I'm Polly Meyer, and I'm here with Carrie Packinen, the Chair of Advisory Board. Hello, how are you?
Hi, very good.
You know, I have some questions for you. Like, what did it take to pull this wonderful event together?
Well, it is in its 28th year, so it's almost running itself at this point. Children's provides a wonderful staff here. The foundation has people that really work hard in getting this going. And then Pine Tree itself is all volunteer. We have volunteers in the food tent that help run the tennis tournament, merchandise. It's a whole community of people that get together to make this go.
Oh my gosh. You know, on a personal level, what do you get out of all of this?
I love seeing how the tennis, the cancer, the people that live in the community, everybody comes together for the same cause. And the cause, of course, is helping cure pediatric cancer. It's very satisfying.
And how much money has this event raised so far this year?
This year it's hard to tell because we're right in the middle of the event. Generally, every year we raise about $170,000, $190,000.
Oh my gosh. And now we have some families here today as well. So who do we have over here? We have Jane and Jeremy, and this is Lydia. How are you?
Say hi.
Are you having fun? You look like you're having fun. What's all this stuff on your face, huh? You know, let me ask you, how has cancer affected your family?
You know, initially it was really shocking and emotional, and you know, you think it's the end of the world and horrible. And then as your family and friends just really rally around you, and you find the support of the staff and the nurses, and they're educating you, and you realize that you can live with this, and then you can survive it, and it doesn't even slow her down. So for us, like, we just really we're thankful for how much it has brought to us, the love and the just support of our community, and it just has really reaffirmed for us, like, just how great everybody is that is around us. So.
Well, thank you so much for coming and for being a part of this. Thank you to everyone who's coming out to support such a great thing here. I'm Polly Meyer, and it's back to you.
40-15.
Well, we've still got some great tennis going on. I think that's one of my favorite parts of the weekend, is seeing the kids that this tournament does so much good for. A lot of them just loving it.
Kevin Werwey always does that great presentation every year. I think we're going to see that right after these finals are over. You get to see just a couple of the kids who, just really remind you what this is all about. It's not about the tennis. It's not about the treats or anything. It's all about the support for the fundraising for the cancer research.
Game Bianca Tronson.
Makes you very humble and appreciative.
Yeah, it is. It's a great reminder for the players, too, to see, they're bringing in fundraisers to sponsor them and seeing what they're doing. And I think that's a lot of motivation for a lot of the players here.
Robin Coverdale to serve.
What a point.
15.
It's a fantastic rally. It's a good thing that sun hasn't been beating down yet, because a match like this, these players are going to get tired quick.
Second serve.
I would be getting tired just sitting here underneath this tent. I can only imagine what it would be like being out on the court.
15 all.
Time.
Got ourselves a first set awarded to Susan Rudd and Dan Shannon on court 2. The second set should just be getting underway.
Second set.
Seakosh to serve. great volley from Sikash.
And I would recommend for anyone watching, even if you're not the biggest tennis fan, try and make it out one time. It's a blast to be here in person, to see, you know, the antics on court, have some of the food, just the whole atmosphere is just great in the summer. A lot of people come who don't know a lot about tennis and leave big fans.
A lot of people come who don't know a lot about tennis who wouldn't consider it their summer without Pine Tree, myself included.
Violation, partner abuse. 15 all.
So it looks like we've got Coverdale to serve 1 game apiece on the first court. Great point.
Nice volley there.
There it is.
Bianca Tronson lead 2 games to 1, first set.
It's going to be a useful break for them. They want to hold on to that.
30-15.
Just a couple points prior, that was a joke from chairman Tony Stingley. Sikash accidentally tubing his partner in the back with a volley.
That's why you got to have a good relationship with your partner.
That's why you have to have a good relationship with the chair umpire.
It's true. All right, we're going to take a little break here while the players rest up in between their games.
We'll be back, but momentarily.
Looking to launch it deep. A lot of down there. Can he catch up to it? He can. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
Zach, what an exciting game you guys had.
Running room. Cuts. Touchdown.
We're all steamed together. It's kind of neat to see how we've all progressed.
Albert throws up the 3. Good. Pioneers with a good opportunity. And big hook. And a jab right to the jaw. And lights were out. Tying the game up at 4 with this power play goal.
New school records from 2 freshmen. I want to remind you, anytime you want the latest and the best of Northeast suburban area in sports, tune in to TV 19. You will get the best coverage. Don't forget that.
30 all.
All right, we've just begun the 4th game. It looks like Sianka is serving.
Left 15.
So I wonder how much of her firefighter and paramedic work helps her with tennis. You don't see that as a cross trainer, but you know, it might.
I can only imagine the mental toughness advantage she must have.
Well, and Tronson's got to feel good, because if he does get injured, he's in good hands.
Oh, what a point.
Fantastic
What
point.
a point. It's a good read there by Coverdale on that first point, passing Tronson up the line with the return. That's such a tough shot to make, no matter what the situation. You're trained from day one. Any tennis player will tell you, even a casual one, that cross court, cross court, cross court every time with that return. So anytime you take that risk and go up the line and make it, it's should be very.
It's a surprise to everyone.
Oh yeah. Should be very lucky.
Just caught it.
Nice pick from Oleshko there. Tell you what, I still can't quite get over Oleshko's shoes. I gotta get me a pair of those.
Yeah, they're like, I think they're basketball shoes.
I think they are too. They might be. Might have to check out the local Foot Locker. Can't quite remember the last time I did any kind of athletic activity in high tops.
Hey, it's been working for him though. I've seen him. He's pretty mobile.
He's found himself in the final. Must be the shoes. A great return there. What an angle.
Coverdale, Oleshko. 2 all. A first set. I've been up here a long time.
They always choose great umpires. They have great sense of humor for being, in charge of the rules and having to be stiff sometimes.
Absolutely.
Love 15.
It's all tied up here in court 1. Back to Hlushko to serve this game.
I think that was an early break down there in court 2 as well. Good close there from Johnson.
Very good. He read that one well.
Getting up there, taking that volley right out front, sticking it. Not allowing it to float.
And so much of net play is sometimes a gamble. It's just hoping you chose the right direction and, not worrying about it if they blow one past you and being ready for that one that you were waiting for.
Even sometimes just looking at the other player's head and not the ball, trying to get a read on where they're going to hit it. Underrated are things such as head fakes.
Mm-hmm. Very. Close, close, very close.
Was looking for a tweener there if that one bounced.
Seen a couple this weekend. I'm hoping to see some more.
John Pals tried to hit it one against me. I thought he had it. He missed it by just a hair. I would have turned and yelled "show off" over my shoulder. Tough return there.
Very solid return.
Tough
Very
return.
tough serve. Very tough return.
Absolutely.
Remains to 2 for a set.
It was a great low return slice there from Sikosh. I always forget in the earlier rounds how cool it is once we get later into the weekend. You get to see the camera towers and everything get all set up.
40-15.
They'll be getting back on court pretty soon, so they will leave it. You only get like 90 seconds.
Oh, great shot there from Rudd.
Looks like Tronson to serve for the 5th game.
Up a break here. Let's see if they can hold on to it. Always tough to get the break in the first place, but equally as important is consolidating afterward with your own serve.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good start.
15 left.
If he keeps doing that today, he's going to make quick work of these service games.
Life might be pretty simple. Good return there from Hlushko.
These serves and returns between those two, I'm seeing a little rivalry here. Hitting big returns. I like it.
A little bit of ego behind the ball.
Yeah.
Always healthy. Oh, what a get.
Big put away from Sianka.
Great point on court 2 as well. Great get from Rudd.
And that's sometimes the frustrating part about these doubles matches is a point like that one just now where Sianka put that away right after the serve is, might not be interesting to watch because it's over quickly, but it is textbook. That's what you're going for every time.
Exactly. Those are the points you want. Those are the points you plan for. Going to the I formation here. Great serve. Oh, it's a let there.
Retake the first serve.
For those of you unfamiliar, the I formation simply involves a couple of signals. The first signal, Betsy will tell John where to serve the ball. The second signal, where she's going to go.
Just another thing to mix it up in the returner's head and try and get him to make a mistake.
Another great serve. Tough to make a living against Mr. Tronson when his serve is on like this.
Guess they called that one out.
Oh. Well, difficult to see from this angle.
Definitely close.
40-30.
Didn't seem to matter to him. He was going to serve big regardless. Coverdale and Halushko are going to have to figure something out against a serve like that if they're going to start taking this game.
Deuce.
3-2 first set. Should be
Game Bianca Johnson. Bianca Johnson leads 4-2 first set.
There you go.
So now it's getting to that point kind of near the end of a set where Tronson and Sianka are in a pretty good position to take this set. So Coverdale and Halushko are going to have to be playing some pretty good defense, but also be able to switch it up so they can get back in this set. Because it'll be tough if they put a lot of work into this set and then end up losing it and have to start over in the next one. So they're not going to want to do that. They're going to want to take this one.
Important, though, if they do end up dropping the set, remembering, keeping in mind what they did do well to get as far as they did. It's so easy sometimes to totally throw the game plan out the window once you lose the first set and you forget some of the things that you actually did well.
Tronson and Sianka are not making it easy on them on their service games. They are really returning well today.
Great point.
Great play.
15-30.
Just using the whole court, opening it up, and trying to make opportunities.
Great hands, too, to be able to create that angle on the forehand from Tronson.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff they're going to have to do to take this set and stay in it. Keep playing points like that. Good serve. I don't know if you've seen anything different, Quinn, but from what I've seen, it seems like Robin and Halushko are going to want to play the longer points. They seem to have been winning the longer rallies that involve a lot more strategy, whereas Sianka Tronson have been, trying to take points quick.
You know what? I would agree. I think, well, that will help. But I would agree. I would think that, especially on this next returning game from Halushko and Coverdale, we might see a couple of first lobs, a couple of things to just make the point interesting, get it started from scratch. Trying to get past that big serve and big return.
Level of playing field.
Deuce.
30 love.
We had a ball come on court there, and so we'll have to redo that point. They don't want to let any distractions go with, and the ball could also injure someone if they end up going over by it. So we'll replay that point.
It's frustrating sometimes to see that. We were just commenting on how if Robin and Dean can get the point started a little bit, they had a good one going there, and a stroke of bad luck.
They were sure building a good one.
Game Shannon Rudd.
Advantage Coverdale.
Shannon Rudd lead 40 to love second set.
Oh, that's so much fun to watch.
It's a fantastic point.
All 4 players at the net, trading volleys, trading blows. Great close by John.
I think the advantage transferred hands about 5 times in that point alone.
Couple. It's a wonderful lob.
Fantastic touch from Tronson there.
Mixed it up beautifully. High ball, low ball, high ball.
He must have heard us talking about his short points and wanted to show us otherwise. A nice, long, well thought out point like that.
Long 30.
Oh, it's
great shot.
And she does it right back.
So difficult to have the control to not just hit it right back at him and have the thought in that short second to pop a ball up like that.
Exactly, to throw a lob in there.
Ooh, tough.
Good forehands there. That is oftentimes what you look for when you have 2 players at the net. If they're not quite closed on top of it yet, you try to get it down like that. That was great strategy there by Tronson to try to make Coverdale try to hit a volley off their shoe tops. There it was again.
Bianca Tronson lead 5-2 first set.
And you're watching the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic. Stick around through the break because there's a lot more action to come.
Hi, I'm Community TV.
I'm Network TV. What are you doing with all the network's equipment?
Actually, this all belongs to the community station. Settle down.
What could you possibly do with all this?
It's not just for me. Many members of our community use this stuff to produce their own shows.
Produce their own shows? Each year, Network spends billions of dollars producing high-quality content. We could never afford to trust the likes of you with our equipment. They don't even let me touch that stuff.
Trust me, with a few lessons, anyone can make TV.
Anyone? Could I hold one of those cameras?
Sure.
Sweet.
All right, looks like we've got Cianca serving for the first set. It's a pretty good position for them to be in. The servers generally have command of the point from right off the bat, so we'll see what Coverdale Halushko come up with.
That's what we would call an insurance break. So Tucker, tell me, what's your favorite apple orchard treat?
You know, it's a toss-up for me. It depends on if I'm having breakfast or not. Something to be said for just a simple apple donut and coffee for breakfast, but you can't beat apple pie.
I think I would agree wholeheartedly, except for the part about there being an issue with having apple pie for breakfast. Back to the I formation here.
Oh, very close, very close.
And for a man of John Tronson's stature, it makes it very difficult oftentimes, especially when the female's returning, to find any spot in the court when he plays the I formation, because no matter what side he is going to, he makes himself look so big up there that makes the window of opportunity for you shrink.
Now, Quinn, I've always thought of the I formation as more of a mental game than a physical game, but you know, I don't know how you feel.
I always just thought it's a good point.
It's a great point.
Personally, when I've done the I formation in the past, I've always just thought of it as Number one, it allows the server to move toward the middle of the court. And that may or may not be a good thing depending on the person at hand, but I always enjoyed serving more from the singles court. But from the net, if I can figure out a way to read my opponent's returns a little bit, I think it makes it easier for me to try to pick off returns. I mean, especially if I can get a little head fake in there. Of course, that's the mental game you're talking about, Tucker, but I feel like I can get more on top of the net. I'm moving forward more as opposed to standing in the traditional stance, unless I were poaching.
Very good hands from Hlushko there. Johnson made a textbook cross. And
yep, that was the poach.
Made the shot he was supposed to, and Hlushko came up with something a little bit better.
Made him come up with the goods, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, you know, it's funny. I've been here almost all weekend, and I'm still seeing a couple of faces I haven't seen yet in so long.
All right. Does Janka Tronson have a game point here? They can close out the first set if they win this point. Let's see if they can convert.
Things continuing to be difficult for the lives of Mary Cornell and Ken Seakosh there in court too. Shannon and Rudd just playing some flawless tennis out there. Great volley from Coverdale.
He fought off the first set point, so let's see if they can keep it up and maybe take this game and get back in this set. Give us a good show.
Great shot there from Shannon. There's the put down. Ooh, great catch from Lucky Fan there.
Yet another game point, another chance for them to finish out this set. Establish a pretty good early lead.
There's the one you dream about right there. Great stick there from Seakosh. Oh, she almost had it.
And that'll do it for the first set here on court one.
Game first set, Janka Tronson 6-2.
What a fantastic way to end the set. That's a great point.
I think all four players have agreed to take their long set break after the first game of the second set here.
So we've got Hlushko to start us off in the second set. Comes out firing too.
It's great stuff from Hlushko.
Well, that's such another opportunity when you lose the first set. You really need to come out firing because sometimes the other team will kind of sit back and say, hey, we got a nice lead. So it's a really great opportunity to change the momentum of things.
Yeah, well, it's, of course, and it's easy to, as I mentioned before, it's difficult to, bounce back after being down a set. But sometimes it can play to your advantage too. You can really tell yourself to calm down of whatever happened in the first set that didn't go your way and come out there with a fresh mind. And sometimes you find things start to bounce a little bit differently for you. Great serve from Halesko there. Seacock's trying to get the crowd into it here as they enter their last hope of the game here.
So, have you had a chance to look at the trophies, Quinn?
You know, I haven't stopped to really look at those trophies in a while.
They're pretty impressive.
Fantastic.
It's hand-blown glass. I think it's a local artist is what I've heard. And they've done it the last few years with the same person, but they look nice.
Makes it all the more special when it is locally done as well.
30 love.
It's just more in the theme of the tournament. Some, people doing what they can to help with the tournament. There's lots of volunteers, lots of donations, and it's not always just money.
Tons of stuff goes on behind the scenes, lots of volunteer hours, lots of things being done simply out of the goodness of one's heart. It's a great serve there from Halesko again. Seems he's starting to dial in. It's going to get interesting.
Sometimes that first set loss is what you need to spur yourself into action.
Well, he's got a smile on his face. Looks like he's having some fun.
And you see Coverdale Halesko right back on court. It looks like they're ready and raring to keep this momentum up and really change the course of this match. They want it.
I think they've got something figured out or established between the two of them of what they were going to do to adjust. We'll see if it plays out here, if we notice a thing or two that's changed. And there's the match on court 2. Rudd and Shannon making quick business. Those were a couple of decisive sets.
Tough serve right into the body. Really makes Coverdale do something. Got to move, got to hit at the same time. That really throws a wrench into things sometimes.
It's important to note just how far into the court Tronson comes when he serves the ball. When the serve is just bouncing on the other side of the court, he's already halfway into the net. That's a very important tactic.
Well, just like you said, Quinn, it's filling up pretty quick here. If you're looking for a seat, you're going to have to be a little bit further away.
I can only imagine what that parking lot must look like.
Especially, now that you can get the wind blowing those food smells out into the parking lot, too.
Oh, yeah. What a get from Coverdale, but Tronson proving too tough there. That was a great volley.
That's the kind of points that people are here for.
With Mr. Tronson on the court still, you can be sure to get some little crowd interaction here going on. If things start to get interesting here, he's always the showman.
Mm-hmm.
To the I formation. It's a good serve.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for our 2013 Grandmasters champions, Dan Shannon and Susan Rudd, for a third consecutive year.
Really good. An idea of the volume of the people there from the round of applause.
And Mary Cornell. Great tennis, you guys. Congrats.
Tough ball there for Coverdale. Can't imagine that was the shot she was looking for when she hit it.
Oh, she almost had it.
Coverdale's having a tough time in her service game. They're picking on her.
Now, Tucker, I'm sure you can remember as you were in juniors here, just as I was, it's always fun when you're You're one of the young kids, 12, 13, 14 years old, and growing up learning from a lot of these pros who play in this tournament. When they start to, it's always fun the couple weeks prior to the tournament, seeing all the setups start to come up, and when it starts to be that time of year again and court 1 gets blocked off and the stands get put in, and you're still coming to drills and you're playing on these courts, and all you can think about is finally sitting down and having some food and watching all your favorite pros play their best tennis. It's a pretty traditional thing.
Yeah, you can definitely see the little fan clubs of, you know, people who are on the pros teams when they coach, or juniors that take drills from them, and they got little, you know, groups of supporters here and there, and it's fun to see.
A bet or two being taken, it would seem. Oh, great shot.
It's a great ball.
Coverdale.
Great ball. Those are the ones you kind of have to forget about too if you're on the receiving end, because I don't think Cianca would have been ready for that if she had set up camp yesterday.
It's one of those volleys, as we've coined, adequate.
Very adequate. Looks like Tronson Cianca took a break there, so Coverdale and Lushko are going to want to break back to avoid getting behind like they did in the first set. All right, looks like we're just starting.
It's a good first point there.
Yep. Like we said, they're going to want to break back. They got to come out of here swinging, or else they're going to get down again, and that is not a good place to be, as we saw in the first set.
I think won't be surprised here if we see Hlushko take a couple of chances. It's now or never.
Just like you said, there's that first. Just trying some new stuff, trying to surprise people.
It's a double-edged sword.
Really got to push yourself to make those shots. But when they happen, it's hard not to win a point on them.
Oh,
very, very good point.
It's a good stretch there from the big guy.
Although I think he'd want it back if he had the chance.
I think he might.
Looked like he was trying to bounce that one out into the parking lot, which, you know, it's good strategy. They can't get it there. Great low ball from Cianca there. It's tough to do anything with that kind of shot.
It's funny, you know, I think I can remember a couple of years back an overhead like that getting spiked over the fence, and Eric Donnelly actually used the fence as a foot base so that he could plant on it and jump off of it to get higher in the air to go get the ball.
That'll be a treat later today when he plays in the final. He's definitely a showman.
I think I did see a couple of looks and perhaps a little money being exchanged when he made his first dive of the day in the last match.
That's a tough point.
It's a tough place to be in, right in between the service line and baseline. A ball like that, you're not sure whether or not it's going to bounce in. I think she may have a little savature going on there.
She was questioning herself after that shot. And you can see it, even though it's very early in the second set, both teams realize that this game is a very, very important game to win. So you can see how hard they're trying, even though it's the fourth game of the set.
Great point from Halushko there. I think they may have saved the team of Tronson and Sianka once again there, but they got away with it that time.
They did. They tied it up in the service game. Tough. That's a free point you don't want to be giving away at this point. Of course, it makes the team of Coverdale Halushko a little bit happy to get a gift like that once in a while.
We'll see if they take advantage. It's always nice to have something like that in your back pocket. See if Halushko jumps on the second serve opportunity here.
He tried to jump on it. Like about an inch is all he needed, inch more height.
I think he thought he was going to catch Johnson trying to poach there.
This is sometimes the position that you don't want to find yourself in as a server, because you can tire yourself easily by playing a long service game. It takes a lot out of you.
All
right, Lushko gets another shot at taking this and nullifying the break they just had.
Good close.
Very good close.
Back at deuce here. We'll see who can put a couple points together.
Just a little bit out. That's a close one. Here's Sianka's first chance to close out this hold and establish the lead that they made in the last game. So if she can win this point, they're going to be in a good situation, just like they were last set.
The break consolidation, that's right. That's what we talked about. First serve, critically important here. You want to give Halushko another look at a second. Oh, what a point.
Great
what
point.
a point.
Great point. Even with that first serve, Lushko kind of took a crack at it.
Yes, he did.
Started off a great advantage for them to keep working at. That was one of those points we were talking about, and there was everything in that. Some power, some touch, some running. It was
all four players involved.
Whole deal.
The complete package.
Kind of thought we'd hear the crowd get more into that one, but maybe they'll wake up.
Oh. They must be out getting some food.
It's tough. And that's a lot of what we see here. The males traditionally can hit bigger serves because not only are they a little bit more muscular but taller, but you can really see that the power on a serve isn't everything. A lot of these players, even men who aren't hitting bigger serves, are just putting the serve where the opponent doesn't want to see it.
Where it needs to be, exactly. It's about precision. That's tasteful put away.
This is looking pretty similar to the first set right here. Let's see if Coverdale Hlushko can make a change and stay in this.
They made them earn that last one though.
They
gave
did.
themselves a couple opportunities to get that break back. They're gonna have to try to do it on Tronson's serve the next go around.
Very good defensive serving from Sianka. That's tough to serve that long and keep producing.
It's interesting, even though we've had so many deuce games already and we're only at 3-1 in the second set, I think we're still going to finish up both of these final matches with ample time as opposed to that semifinal that lasted quite the marathon in the last round. The open draw.
It's funny because that's the match you hope to see in the finals to get your money's worth.
Great tennis.
Very
great
good
tennis.
point.
It's good cover there. Good tactical move by Hlushko and Coverdale. As Hlushko covered Coverdale on that lob. They did what's called a switch. Oftentimes you'll have to communicate that verbally in the middle of a point if your opponent can't tell where you are.
Well, it's the hallmark of a successful partnership in doubles when they don't communicate anything and it still works out.
Communicate telepathically, it would seem. Page out of the Bryan Brothers book. Above average serve.
Yeah, especially I think that might have been his second serve.
I think it was his second serve.
Generally that's reserved for the safe one, not the risk taker, but no one told Hlushko that.
I think we did say it was now or never. He may have heard us.
Tough. I myself was wondering what he was planning to do with that ball. I thought he might try and crush it up the line at Tronson, but it looked like he thought second about that.
Hesitated. It's tough to think about that. You had a great serve on the second serve, the point beforehand, and then you get the big sitter, and it's tough to give it back to him. Splitting the difference there.
It's a great way to, if in doubt, just hit up the middle. That's
down the middle.
Always what you've been.
Riddle.
It's always what we've been taught. Looks like Hlushko's really trying to stretch them out and get an advantage right off the bat. Looks like Tronson was caught celebrating his shot, but it wasn't quite the one he thought it was.
Didn't think we'd see anything like that happening today, did you?
I didn't. Even this close, it was difficult to make the call from where we're sitting. But that's what the umpires are here for.
A little miscommunication there. Both going after one ball and neither going after the next.
It's the kind of stuff that Tronson and Sianka are trying to, manufacture and capitalize on. So if they can win this point, it's going to be real huge for them. It's going to be real tough for Coverdale Lushko to get back in.
Tough serve from Lushko there, trying to make Betsy hit a high backhand with the two hands. It's always tough to get that left hand up over your left shoulder if the ball's hopping like that. You have to try to take it earlier.
Couldn't help but notice either that all four players have been great with defensive serving. They have, when they've gotten into trouble, they kind of find another gear and start making some things happen.
There was that one again, just like the couple points beforehand, that out wide second serve. He caught John Johnson stretching there. I would agree with you about the serving. Very smart serving, but very defensive serving, but also very smart serving, going after the right one at the right time. Oh, really wishing he had that one back.
That's tough. You do everything right and then just one slip up. Johnson is making him work for that first volley. He's not going to give him anything.
This will be interesting here. Let's see if Sianka takes a couple steps inside the baseline. Well, she did everything right.
Sometimes serves is too good.
You have to say, nice shot, and walk to the other side of the court.
And it's really good to see that both teams are still having a lot of fun. There has been very little controversy this year in the tournament, which, it always puts a damper on things, but it's good to see that it's just, good, fun, clean competition.
The sportsmanship, of course, yes, always omnipresent at this tournament. Almost as big as those trophies we were talking about earlier is the sportsmanship award trophy. It's a big deal as well.
It is.
Elected by the players, I believe, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's voted on by them and some of the people involved with the tournament, but they always get an equally impressive trophy. Oh, what a shot.
Wow.
What a shot.
It's a delicious cross-court backhand there.
So hard to do, too. The very, very small margin of error. You got to get it to go up and right back down with very little room to do so.
Quite the angle.
Think he was planning that from the get-go, or did he change his mind right at the last second?
If I had to guess, he may or may not have been thinking that the whole way.
Wow.
That's good.
Wow.
Good touch.
Such a great shot on such a difficult ball to do it.
Bianca Johnson lead 3-2, second set, 1 set to love.
Another tough hold, but an important one.
Coverdale are going to have to keep coming up with similar stuff. As they are still down.
Like I said earlier, they're going to have to return Tronson's serve now if they can make any kind of an adjustment. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some lobs here on the first couple shots. It's been tough to get anything back on his serve. And they've been making Sianka stay true and honest up there too. They've ripped a couple shots at her and she's had her hands out front the whole time, staying solid, steady.
And neither team has given the other team very much court to work with, which is what leads to those great rallies.
Yep, the positioning and
once again, the etiquette of tennis showing here. Got to take a break. Got to be quiet during points, so they'll wait for the crowds to sit down to start this game. Give the players the best chance they can to be not distracted.
it's a tough serve right out of the gate from Tronson.
Just like you said, he's not letting them do much with it.
It's hard to throw up a lob when you can't even get a racket on it. I would agree about the etiquette of tennis as well. Everybody in the stands waiting until the changeover to leave the court.
Tronson's really not giving them an opportunity to break back and get, an even playing field in this set. Which
He is. He's dialed in.
He wants to hold on to that lead, just like we said. And, that's a nice part, too, is when you have that lead, especially like this lead in this game, 40 love, you've got a little bit of a buffer to work with. It allows you to, try some lower percentage shots, which generally end up in some exciting shots for the crowd.
On the other hand, if you're in Coverdale and Lushko's position, you end up going for something like that and you don't make it, you end up kicking yourself.
Would not be surprised if we saw something fancy from Tronson or Sianka right here. Wasn't needed.
Didn't need anything fancy there, that's right.
Coverdale to serve for the 7th game of this set. Thinking about it, I don't think we've seen too many double faults this match from anyone.
Not many. No, there's been few and far between. Great close there from Holoshko.
Very good hands. He was in the right place at the right time and still able to capitalize. That's not fair. They got wind blowing chicken at us. It smells good.
A little ranch, a little barbecue sauce. I don't think I'd mind that right about now.
It's a great shot from Tronson. Been a tough service game thus far for Coverdale. Let's see if she can swing things back in her favor.
Not quite.
Just missed it.
He's been getting some good looks at that forehand, though. That's that weapon. That's what he wants. I've seen him dictate the play of the point a couple of times here. It's really put him up in the advantage.
Nice surprise attack from Hlushko. Keep them in this.
They're within striking distance. Going to come up with the goods here in the next couple games.
Here with Dr. Yoav Messinger, oncologist, cancer doctor at Children's Hospital. How are you?
Okay, thank you.
Well, I am so glad that you are a part of this. I have a question for you, though. What is pediatric cancer?
Well, pediatric cancer is a rare cancer. You know, most children do not have cancer, and are never going to have cancer, so that's the beauty of it. But on the other hand, it's a very dangerous cancer when you have it. And some kids get, you know, their mother take them to the hospital, to their doctor, and all of a sudden she thinks they have a little bit of a runny nose, and then they come in and within a couple of hours they are found to have leukemia, or they're found to have a cancer. Then they may die if we don't intervene very quickly. So cancer of children is a very aggressive disease, but very rare.
And what are some of the advancements that you've seen over the last couple years in beating childhood cancer?
Well, I wouldn't say just the last couple of years. In the last 4 decades, there's been tremendous development. You know, 40 years ago, nobody essentially survived childhood cancer. Nowadays, 85–90% are cured and become regular adults, become parents, have children of their own. Isn't that fabulous?
That is wonderful. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this and for doing everything you can to help these children.
Thank you. This is my privileges. It's truly a privilege to work with it.
This is the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic, and we are heading back to the action.
All right, looks like Sianka is taking a little early lead in her service game.
Hlushko just barely missed a return there. I thought that one was going to be good, but he must have just missed the line.
Very, very close.
Tried to sneak that one up the line.
It's unfortunate for Hlushko Coverdale. They've already got a little bit of deficit to overcome.
You can see a bit of the frustration there, just trying to figure something out to get them back in this little momentum changer. That makes life a little bit difficult. It's a good attack there from Tronson.
And that's that lob on the return we were talking about. Just
couldn't quite get it over his head.
Pretty tall guy, so it's tough to do. Well, with this sun out here like that, sometimes that's all you got to do is put it up and make them hit a ball. See a little bit of laughing from Hlushko Coverdale because they did not think they'd be taking that point. They were already running for the fences.
I think you're right. You could see Tronson yelling at the sun there right after that point was over. I think it came out from behind a cloud just in the nick of time for Hlushko and Coverdale.
Tough double fault. Coverdale Hlushko holding on in here.
Back to the I formation.
This little bit of sun that peeked out must be giving them quite a bit of trouble because we've seen quite a few more errors since it came back.
That was the close you're looking for, you know. Anytime you're at a doubles court like that, you can get a ball somewhere down low so that your opponent has to bend down and pick a ball up on the top of their shoes. If you can just be right on top of the net like that, that's the kind of thing you plan for.
Coverdale Hlushko have tied this up and gotten themselves back in this game. Really going to need to capitalize on this game if they want to stay in here.
That's
tough to do when you're seeing shots like that.
It's using the whole field of play, as it were.
They fought back, but Trance and Sianka weren't going to let him off that easily. They had a couple tough points after they'd fought back.
Hlushko will serve to stay in it here. We'll see. I see some fireworks here. It's a tough serve right into the body.
That's what they need right now. This is kind of 0 hour for them, you know. They're against the wall here. This is great serving from Hlushko. This is what they need right now at this time. They got to really pull out all the stops, leave it all out on the court.
Great volley from Coverdale there.
Hello everyone, I'm Paul Anderson, host of North St. Paul Notes on Channel 16. North St. Paul Notes is a monthly show that will keep you up to date on the news and events that are of interest to the residents of North St. Paul. This month we'll take a look back at some of our favorite stories and interviews from the last couple of years. So make sure you don't miss the August edition of North St. Paul Notes right here on GTN Channel 16.
Looks like we got John Tronson to try and serve out the match here.
See if he really keeps that serve dialed in. He's been just lights out today. There it is.
You can really see it. He wants to really just take this game and not let any nonsense happen. Just finish it out, take the match.
Well, that first point, he accomplished that much.
Tough, tough. They're really making Tronson work for this one. I haven't seen Sianka be allowed into the points too much, which is a change of pace from what the rest of the match has been.
I would agree.
Been trying to keep Tronson out of it as much as possible. Now they're really picking on him.
Makes life a little bit difficult.
It's a very good return off of unorthodox positioning.
Be a little bit too cute with that shot Tronson did.
It's interesting, too, to watch his partner's signals to him and then see how it plays out with the other side not knowing.
Exactly, to see if everything goes to plan or not. And oftentimes,
it seemed like that was the plan.
Yeah.
Just
oftentimes you'll find the ball goes not exactly where the signal was intended, but it works out anyway. There's match point for the team of Tronson and Sianka.
See if they can turn this on, take the match here, or if Coverdale and Hlushko will fight back.
I'm calling a big serve from Tronson here.
He's going to want to end this quick.
Uh-huh. He went for it.
He did.
I think he had him too. I think he had Hlushko leaning toward the tee.
Tough. Got to win 2 more now.
Seems the world stops turning when you can see the finish line in any tennis match.
So how about you? Would you rather be the server for your winning the match or returning for the match?
Oh, absolutely. I'd rather be serving.
Okay, same here.
At least if I don't do it, it's my own fault. Serve and put the ball away. It's a good strategy to live by.
Yeah, it's routine doubles. Let's see if they capitalize on their second match point attempt. That first serve is going to be so key to Tronson here. Oh, that's a great return.
It's perfectly placed.
I guess they had enough of a time lobbing the tall guy. They decided to stop trying that out. tough.
Well, girls still seeded. You can't ever count the team of Halushko and Coverdale out. We'll see what happens here.
They're not going down. They're not going to roll over and take this.
See if Johnson goes for the big one again. Great point.
Great point. Very well-placed shots all around.
That was a great return by Halushko. Really gave him a chance there. Off of a very tough serve.
And those overheads, I mean, that lob is such a safe shot, but there's an inch difference between a great shot and the exact shot the person wanted to see.
Game of inches.
Another tough serve from Tronson. Our third match point attempt here.
Just like a pitcher in baseball, you've got to pick your speeds and your zones and mix them up as much as you can. We'll see if Tronson sticks with what he's been doing well here or if he tries to mix it up.
Looks like Tronson lost the shock absorber from his racket during that last point. Some great sportsmanship to give that back to him.
Uh-huh. Suppose that means he may have gotten away with one there if he didn't strike it totally in the center of his racket.
It's true.
I don't think it would have mattered a whole lot at that point, though.
And that's it.
And it was.
Big serve for the match.
Wonderful tennis all around. So you have your champions of the Masters Division.
Let's give it up one more time for your 2013 Pine Tree Masters champions, John Tronson and Becky Siaka.
Meyer at the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic. We have our winners, John Tronson and Betsy Sianka. Now, you're a full-time firefighter.
That's correct.
Now, how do you feel that your skills as a firefighter aided in your strength on the court?
Well, we have to stay physically fit, so I think that helps in tennis when it's an endurance sport to keep out here. So staying physically fit for the job helps with sports.
Sure. And what does that mean to you?
Being physically fit?
The whole thing, the physically fit, being on the court, all the strength that you have.
Well, I'm from around here, so it's good to be back after being gone for a couple of years and playing with John again and just playing for all the children with cancer. It's just a great opportunity to be out here, and we've tried for many years, so it's great to win it this year.
Congratulations. And I have a question for you. You tell me about your serve, because you were really driving them in.
I don't know. It was going in today, I guess. You know, it's just try to hit a high toss and swing hard.
And how do you feel about winning?
It's awesome.
Awesome.
I think we played in this how many times?
10.
10 times. Never won it. So.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Stay tuned, because we have more action to come.
We want to take a moment of your time to talk about the real reason we're here. Don't forget why we're here today. We're here to raise money to help kids with cancer get the best treatment possible. And as many of you know, this was all started 28 years ago by Ron and Mary Ann Peterson when, unfortunately, their daughter Julie was herself battling cancer. And over the past 27 years, many different projects have been supported by the PTATC. You've been hearing at the auction party and so on that the two major focuses that we have are pleural pulmonary blastoma. You didn't think I could say that, did you? PPB. And the other one is the physical performance of children who have gone through or who are going through cancer treatment. Each of you out there today are supporting the programs that the PTATC is funding by being here as a player, a sponsor, a participant in any way possible, and we thank you for that. However, this event couldn't happen without the leadership that we have here today. Here they come. These are this year's co-chairs, Sharice Crockrell, who is not here right now, Jackie Mudge, Matt Narr, and Joe Miller. And Joe would like to take a moment to say a few words to you.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for being out here this weekend and throughout the entire weekend. As Carrie said, whether you are a player, a sponsor, a patient, or a runner, or just a spectator and a volunteer, your support is critical to the important things being done by the research staff. Thinking of one people that are in the background all the time, and that's the people in the concession stand. I'd like everyone to give them a quick hand. They're working underneath the hot sun all day, and they do a great job. But during the PTCA, the past 27 years, we've raised over $4.2 million for pediatric cancer research at Children's. And that has impacted many children's and families throughout the world, not just here. We have many people that recognize that helped make this year such a great success. We want to start with the presenting sponsors who step forward each year to pledge their financial support for the tournament. The 2013 presenting sponsors are the Pine Tree Apple Orchard, founding sponsor, Lifetime Fitness, the site sponsor, Sam and Joanne Mars, the event sponsor, Implex, event sponsor, George Mars, event sponsor, and Kevin and Polly Hart, event sponsor. Also, we would like to thank Birch Lake Dental, Chippewa Graphics, Erickson Amet Orthodontics, Dr. Yoav Messinger and Dr. Julia Steinberger, and PCG agencies. Last but least, we want to thank all the players whose hard work to raise the sponsorship money to... That's you? Matt, I'm taking your spot. Sorry.
So, like Joe said, we would like to thank all the players who work so hard to raise sponsorship money in order to participate in this event. Each player must raise at least $500, but many raise much more than that. About half the money raised for the tournament comes from player sponsorships. This year, over $130,000 was raised by all of the players. We would like to recognize the top 3 sponsorship raisers. The third place, who just won the Grand Masters division for the 3rd straight year, a little over $8,000 for Dan Shannon. In second place, $11,150, Chris Combs. And the top sponsorship raiser for, I believe, a number of years in a row, but over $28,000 from Mary Cornell. And all of the players that raise at least $1,000 in sponsorships are eligible for player incentives. Many of them choose to donate them back to the tournament. And thanks to US Bank, we're going to do a drawing here to see who will get a suite at either a Wild game or a Twins game or a concert. And the winner this year is Kevin Werwe. And thank you as well to all the volunteers who help out all weekend long, from setup to teardown, to make this event happen. We could not do it without you.
Thank you. Thank you. Kevin, you lucky dog. You'll be hearing his name maybe a little late. I would like to right now invite the patient reps on court. If you look in your booklets there, you can see the whole bios about the patient reps. Where are the patient reps? Lydia, where'd you go, honey? Evan? Here they come. Carolyn is here. Evan is here. Oh, they cleaned you up. Lydia was face painting. She was covered. They cleaned her up, though. Okay, who's missing? Where's Adrian? There's Adrian. Hey, guys. And again, like I said, their bios are in your book if you're interested. Oh, aren't you guys cute? They're so cute. So let's start right here with Adrian, because he's a cool 11-year-old. I love 11-year-old boys, all right? So, are you cool?
Yes.
Are you 11?
Yes.
What do you like to do in your free time?
Play video games.
Are you good at them?
Yeah.
Do you think I'd be good at them?
I don't know.
All right. Thanks for coming today, Adrian. Can I talk to your little buddy next door here? Okay, I don't want to cut you off here. Carolyn, how old are you?
8.
Do you think Adrian is cool because he's an 11-year-old boy?
I don't know.
Did you do anything fun this summer?
No.
No. Did you go swimming?
Yeah.
And that's not fun?
No.
Okay, can I talk to your little buddy next door? Yeah, thank you. Evan, do you like orange?
Yeah.
Can I borrow that shirt sometime, dude?
I don't know.
Nobody knows anything out here. Do you like the Twins? I see your hat.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite player?
Silver.
Who?
Silver.
Silver? Isn't that the Lone Ranger? Okay. How about Joe Mauer? Are you sure you're a Twins fan? You having fun today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I talk to your little buddy there?
Yes.
Lydia, did you paint your face today? Have you had fun today? Did you eat ice cream or a donut? You're leaving me hanging here, honey. What's your name?
Baby.
Did you say Lydia?
Lydia. Well, here's our patient family reps. Dane Ray is also a rep, but Dane is too ill to be here with us today. Thanks, guys. And I'd like to right now call out all the staff, the oncology staff, hematology staff, children's staff, doctors, nurses, patients. I need that. This is why you're here, folks. These people standing in front of you, whether you're helping to fight cancer, whether you have cancer, this is why we're all here today. Maybe I'll ask Evan. Evan, can you help me for a second? Yeah. Do you know what an iPad is? Do you know what an iPad is?
Yes.
Good. It's a computer. Somebody's going to win a computer. Will you help me draw a name out? Oh, cool. Okay. Pick one, okay? All right, let's see what it says. Brett Eliason. There we go. iPad winner right there. Thank you, Evan. You're a big help today.
Thanks.
Very cool. Thank you. Oh, and she got it. That's fantastic. So I'd like to now hand over, I'll give you the microphone, you give me the ball. How's that? I'd like to now have Chris Ann Schultz say a few words. She's with the oncology department at Children's Hospitals.
Hey guys, I'm Chris Ann Schultz, and my job today is really just to say thank you again. I believe that every single dollar and every single step that you did in the run today, every single match that was played here today really does help these kids. Helps Lydia, helps Evan, helps Carolyn, helps Adrian and Dane, and helps so many kids. The kids that are right there in your neighborhood with cancer and their families, but also kids all around the world. Dr. Messinger and I get emails and phone calls from people all over the world with questions about the PPB registry and the ovarian, and Heather, helps Heather, and the ovarian tumor registry. And thanks to you, we're able to answer those questions to the best of our ability with the data that's been collected through your help. So what you do really makes a difference, and we're very, very grateful for it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. You can go have a seat. Bye, Lydia. Oh, cute. And right now we're going to do the Sportsmanship Award. I'd like to have the Tronson family come out, whoever's here. Aw, stumble on over, John. Come on.
Champion. All right.
Jake, get out here.
A couple of kids will be trickling down as well. Since 2000, a sportsmanship award has been given each year to a player who has demonstrated qualities of good sportsmanship on court, as well as demonstrated their commitment to the cause of Pine Tree with their fundraising efforts. The 2013 award is presented in honor of Ron Tronson, a dedicated tennis enthusiast who passed his love of the game on to his family, including many of his kids who have participated in the tournament for years, including John, who just won the Masters title, many years. We're grateful to the entire family for their continued support of the event in so many ways. This year's award winner is a two-time champion of the Open Division who will be out here competing shortly for her third. And I would like to bring out Imke Reimers, this year's 2013 Sportsmanship Award winner. Congratulations. Did you want to say a word or two? And she would like to say just a couple of words here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Well, I'm a little surprised, to be honest, but...
I want to say some words with her.
Okay.
I'll say something first. Can I say something
Sure,
first?
you can say.
Emka's been coming here now 6 years?
Fifth year.
Fifth year. And one of the things is she's one of our favorite Germans, right? Right?
Out of a set of how many?
Well, we
Two,
have a
probably.
brother-in-law who's German.
Okay.
So we have a lot of close relatives now that are German. And Emka, she's moving to Boston. A lot of you guys probably don't know that. In the next couple weeks, she's a PhD. She's very smart. Last week, not only did she finish her dissertation, she passed with a kidney stone. Pretty amazing. But you know, on our family, she's become very close with our family, and hopefully she decides to come back next year.
Well, the good thing is I've become pretty close to a lot of people here, so there's enough reasons to come back, and I certainly will. That's a promise that I'm making right now. We'll see, though. But, yeah.
Thank you, Imke. And John Tronson.
This is for John. I just want to tell you how proud Dad is of you today. You finally won something, right? He's proud of you.
Oh, no, you don't.
I have to admit, Dean knows my dad very well. And my dad always talked to Dean and I about, get your toss high and this and that. And I have to say, match point, the last one, high toss.
Thanks, John. Thank you, Tronson family. Imke. All right, we got one more award. So exciting. Each year, the PTATC Advisory Committee honors an individual or family who has made an outstanding and long-term contribution to the tournament. On behalf of the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic, this year's 2013 winner of the Hall of Fame Award, Mr. Kevin Werwe. Kevin's involvement in Pine Tree began in 1993 when he played in his first tournament, and he's played in every tournament since then. He was a member of the advisory committee for 13 years, 7 of those as the committee chair. Co-chair of Pine Tree, he's done a million things, and he's just a really swell guy. Congratulations, Kevin.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is a wonderful honor, and I tell you, when I started playing this tournament 20 years ago, I was really playing it because of the tennis. I heard it was a great tennis tournament, a unique format, a lot of great crowds came out, but I quickly realized it was much more than that. And certainly I think all of you have seen that as well and heard the stories, but after a few years I started volunteering and getting involved in the event, and was just amazed by, first and foremost, the clear mission and just the wonderful research and the very targeted research that Pine Tree supports. And it's not just research that supports kids and gives hope for the future, but it has real tangible benefits for them today, which is incredible. Second is just the wonderful physicians and the nurses, all the clinicians that support this event. They're not only very talented, they're very caring, and I've heard many stories from the children and the families about how wonderful the staff is at Children's, and that's been neat to see over the years. And then finally, the volunteers. There are so many volunteers, as you can imagine, that put on this event. Some have been doing it for 28 years. Others have just started this year. It's great to see some new faces come out and help and support this event because we certainly need new blood and new ideas infused in the tournament as well. And certainly I hope that 28 years from now we're not here anymore and that there's been a cure and there's not a need for this tournament. But for the foreseeable, yeah, absolutely. But for the foreseeable future, there still is a need. And so I hope you keep coming out to this event and supporting this great cause. I hope you continue to contribute. I hope that you decide to volunteer and find a way to help. There's so many different ways that you can help contribute to this event. And I know at one point, it's been a lot of years, but we validated that Pine Tree was one of the largest non-celebrity tennis events in the country. And while we don't have any, I guess, true celebrities, although Kevin Hart's pretty close, so we'll count that as a close. We don't have any real true celebrities. We have a lot of heroes, and those start with those kids and their families and just the determination and the inspiration they give all of us to keep fighting. So let's keep fighting for these kids and help find a cure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. Take a moment, give a thanks to everyone, co-chairs who put all this together. I think we need a small, meaning loud, shout out to the food tent. Don't you agree? The hours, the food, the hard work. Let's hear it for the bratwurst. Okay, so thank you again very much for coming. I believe that this year's co-chairs will also be the co-chairs again next year, except Joe Miller will be the former co-chair. So you're looking at next year's staff with Charisse. Thank you all for coming.